record. Hey, welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that matters. What?
Oh, boy.
You're right. That was bad. Thanks for warning me.
I told him before we even started. Ash was just like, "Who's introducing?" I was like, "It's gonna be me. I got a bad one," and it was bad.
It was.
Congrats. That must have been a real hard thing for you to do.
I thought about it like literally last week. I was just like, it would be terrible doing that. That's what I did.
You're good at being correct. I'll give you that.
Hey, what? Always correct. So we're here today with our special guest, Sydney.
Hello, I'm back.
Yeah, Sydney's been on the show a couple times.
Sure has. And this week we watched Lassie.
Yes.
Oh.
Glassy, actually. It's the sequel to Lassie.
Wasn't in the well. Timmy was not in the well.
That was the twist.
Spoilers.
There you go,
We're not at the spoilers section yet, Sid.
I'm very sick. I'm sorry, guys.
But he's here for you anyway, for all the lovelies.
All the lovely people. Where do they all come from? Wait. All right, let's talk about movies we saw this week.
Yeah, I saw some. I actually saw a couple weird ones. Sid and I both watched them together.
Yeah.
I saw Eight-Legged Freaks.
Okay.
I've seen that before, but it was a totally fun one.
It was fun. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's a pretty stupid movie, which is what I like in movies. I also saw Demon House. Sid and I watched that together yesterday. It's starring Zach Baggins, and it's supposed to be like a documentary, kind of like Ghost Adventures,
Which is his show, for those who don't know. Yeah, so he hosts the Ghost Adventures show, and he's kind of our favorite person to really analyze and also pick on.
Oh yeah, totally. We're like actually fans at this point, I think.
I kind of stalk his Twitter. No big deal.
Yeah, I stalk his Twitter and his Instagram.
Because at first I kind of pegged him for like, the Affliction t-shirt wearing, really ripped. I'm going to dye my hair even though I don't have any grays. I like to work out a lot. And
I thought you were going to say
I've never touched a girl in my life.
I know the type.
Right? They still watch WWE.
Like
Midnight Raw. Or whatever it's called.
Actually, it was good. I saw a commercial before this movie, actually, for the Stephen Merchant directed fucking WWE movie.
What? I haven't heard about
It
this.
actually looks really fun. It's about like a couple of kids who grew up wanting to do WWE, and the girl gets chosen to move forward, and there's a lot of The Rock in it. And it looks fun. It looks bad, but it looks fun. It looks like it could be cute.
Remind me who Stephen Merchant is. He's a funny person, right?
Yes, he's funny with glasses.
He's a comedian.
If you've ever, oh god, what was the name of the show? It was a Ricky Gervais show where him and Stephen Merchant would send their friend.
I do remember
who doesn't
this.
like
something
anything.
about idiots like traveling with Carl.
Yeah.
Oh, An Idiot Abroad?
Yes,
Idiot
that's
Abroad.
the one.
I think it was something like that.
He's the glasses
That show was pretty
guy.
fun, actually. Oh, okay.
So it looks like it could be pretty fun. And the guy from...
I actually kind of want to see that. Yeah.
I appreciate him. I like the stuff he's in. Speaking of fun movies, I watched A Mighty Wind, the Christopher Guest movie.
Oh.
It's so much fun.
I've never heard of this. What's it
like
about?
it. I don't know when it came out, but Christopher Guest and like his crew of actors that he's been working with, they all basically do improv and they're all really hilarious.
Oh, we've talked about this before.
So I think the way that it goes is they kind of have a general direction of where to take the scene. And because they're all very seasoned, talented people, they don't break character. And I think they kind of improv, like take it to different places, and it gets really silly and it's really funny. It's Christopher Guest also did Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Because you're
Gotcha.
saying that name like
But
I should know who it is, and I don't.
You should, and I'm sorry that you
Okay,
don't.
that's fair.
You should watch A Mighty Wind and Best in Show
seen Best
and
in
Waiting
Show.
for Guffman. Those are all, oh my God. It's like my kind of humor. I love it. It's so funny. Because you just go down the rabbit hole with them, and it's also fun knowing that they don't necessarily all know where they're going with it either.
And that's so excellent.
They take it to completion, and they write it out so pro. It's amazing. I want to see the Battle Angel. Are you guys going to do that?
Yeah, I think we're obligated to see it.
And like 20 people told us yes, and I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna
Why?
make us do it.
Yeah, you could be in on this.
I think it looks
Doesn't
okay.
Anya
I think,
Taylor-Joy look like Alita Battle Angel, the girl who played Casey in this movie?
dude, the girl from Split looks
Yeah,
like
good
Alita Battle
point.
Angel. We talked
Yeah.
about that on our last episode.
Her IMDb
Dude, she
picture, pull it
absolutely
up.
does.
Pull up her IMDb picture. Show
Yeah.
her.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going
Her
to.
eyes are kind of far apart. And maybe that's why,
No.
because she has this really kind of interesting big-eyed look anyway. Like, she kind of looks...
And she has no human emotions, much like
Oh, not
Alita
with
Battle
injections.
Angel.
Yeah.
Okay. She has emotions, okay?
Not the first
See?
scene she's in. She just kind of opens her mouth slightly more.
But she's trying... I don't know. I think the
Look at
person
her.
that she's trying to portray is... You're right. Stop. I hate the joy that both of you are getting from this. She looks a little like
very,
like
very much. Like they
heart-shaped
should have
big
just
eyes.
cast her. She has like giant headlight
Hey, maybe
eyes.
it was her.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was.
No. That's the one thing Avery
But she is
hated
in the
about it. He
Playmobil
couldn't tell
movie
me.
that's coming out this year.
Yeah, which is just a ripoff of the Lego movie.
Oh.
Thumbs down.
I like those movies. I like kids' movies.
Yeah, me too.
It might be
Debbie
fun.
Downers around here.
I like kids movies. I'm gonna recommend a kids movie next month.
Oh, really?
Oh.
That would be awesome.
Well, not really.
I wonder.
Okay.
Well, if something really good's coming out, I'd be down to watch it. Like Wreck-It Ralph would have been fun.
Yeah, I actually like that movie a lot. That's
Mm-hmm.
cute. There was a new Ralph movie that came out. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it though. I don't know if it's good.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the memes in it aged really poorly from inception to coming out.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a shame.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
have South Parked it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't really do that with animation.
Yeah.
The Godzilla movie's going to be great for animation, though.
Dude, I am so excited to see Godzilla King of Monsters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called. It looks pretty dumb. It looks like that like the Meg level kind of movie.
I think it is.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be fun.
Didn't Netflix just make a Godzilla thing called like
They did.
Planet Eater, which is like, from my understanding,
It's like an anime.
That's not what Godzilla does.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's like an anime though. It's really strange. I put it on the other night and then fell asleep 5 minutes into it.
Huh.
So maybe I'll watch it tonight. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. But I know that Godzilla like is cool again. I guess they're making a whole bunch of Godzilla movies now because there's like I think Kong Skull Island is also supposed to tie into the new like Godzilla universe.
This just kind of ties into Glass, and so I'm seeing a lot of parallels. Like taking a very like beloved like I don't know construct, I guess, like a motif, like comic books, and then trying to make it cool again in a way, like your
Ooh,
own
yeah.
way,
Yeah.
and then combining a lot of different movies. It just
Yeah.
sounds like the same thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, Ash, do you have any other movies you've seen recently, or can we move into our
The
expectations?
new Punisher came out yesterday. I am 8 episodes out of 13 in because I'm sick.
It's season 2, yeah.
Yeah, it is very gory and very fun. And
Dude, that's fun.
it kind of feels like
Okay.
Maybe I should watch
Dexter
it.
season 5. Didn't anyone watch
No,
Dexter?
I'm not a Dexter.
I watched like the first 2 seasons of
Oh,
Dexter.
you didn't even watch the
Anything
best
where it's
season.
just when it's
So?
just like a white dude as the main guy and it's just that's it, then I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing here for
Well,
me. is
okay,
there?
you gotta watch the Trinity Killer season because John Lithgow fucking brings it. He's a good
Oh,
actor.
he's
Yeah?
a great performer.
Yeah, and so he's a
Interesting.
sociopathic killer called the Trinity Killer who always kills people in threes. Kills a woman in a bathtub, shoves someone off a roof. It's great. He's really good. And then this season of The Punisher
That sounds pretty rad.
basically finds like this teenager who like was gonna get murdered, and then his like new girlfriend who he like fell in love with in 10 seconds gets killed in a confrontation, and then
Classic.
he's on the rampage and always covered in blood. It's great.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Punishing left and right.
Oh, so
Yeah.
much
Nothing but punishing.
just cock and ball torture.
Oh my really?
No.
I'm in. Say no more, fam.
You like to sit into it.
Great. What did you guys think? With a segue that doesn't make any sense. What did you guys think, or what were your expectations going into Glass?
Bad.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you thought.
Oh well, we can talk about. We had that text conversation where I tried to guess the twist. which
Oh
wasn't
man,
like
you were getting close. You were on the same level of like silliness. He wasn't a Signs alien.
yeah, that was my first theory, was that he was going to tie
Yeah.
it into the Signs universe, where Sarah Paulson's weird acting meant that she was an alien from Signs, and she was coming to bring Bruce Willis back because he's half Signs alien, and that's why his weakness is drowning.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. We were talking about it and we were like, man, that's so bad. It's like, it's possible. Yeah, how much you want to bet that crossed Shyamalan's mind?
I don't think
as he was
anything
writing
crossed
this
his mind.
movie.
I think he was half in a coma when he wrote this movie.
In a coma? Is that what you said?
But I did guess that Kevin Wendell Crumb was like stuck with his mom because his dad died. I did get that.
Yeah,
I did
that
guess
seemed
that,
pretty.
like, very early. And then I knew that.
But before we spoil the whole movie, because that's not a great twist, but we'll talk about that.
There had to be
coming.
a reason that they had to like write back that this was part of the East Rail Terrible trilogy.
Yeah, that whole trilogy is called the East Rail 177 trilogy.
Yeah,
because of the train
justify
at the
that,
beginning of.
Sid.
Yeah, it's
What
pretty.
do you want from me? I don't make movies. I kind of expected this movie to be like this, to be very Shyamalan, like in its pacing. I knew it wasn't going to be super exciting. I knew it wasn't going to be like, whoa, it was going to be just kind of chill, like someone playing a cello, but it's a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I kind of knew going in that I wasn't going to be like shocked or wowed. I was
Yeah.
going to be like maybe some creepy like shock scenes, but other than that, that was it.
Were there any shock scenes? I'm trying to remember.
No.
Okay.
Only there was just some scenes that were like hard to watch because they were gory or like painful, and there wasn't a lot of like very dramatic music, so like you could just heard all the bones breaking or whatever.
Which I thought was
that.
cool.
There was also dramatic
so at least
music
there
at
was
weird
that.
parts. There was like one part where like I think Elijah was sitting at a computer and they had like the theme from Split going, and I'm like, this seems wrong.
Yeah. Also, when did Elijah learn how to become a genius computer hacker?
Yeah, shouldn't.
I didn't think that was part of the story.
So he's been in there for 17 years, and now he knows the most modern coding languages. I call
Yeah,
bullshit.
exactly.
Well, maybe he snuck out of his room over and over and over again.
Kept learning it over time. It's
It is
possible.
possible. They just installed
Yeah.
all the cameras.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's smart, so
Is he though? Like, this is the thing that we were talking about. We have no idea what Elijah's supposed to be. In the first movie, he's just kind of creepy.
It's pretty vague.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
creepy and like it seems like he's kind of just a terrorist in the first one and that's his superpower. And then like but like it kind of like implies that he's like super smart because David Dunn is like unbreakable, but like not necessarily a genius. Not that he's dumb, but then by that same standard, shouldn't Elijah just be like a kind of smart guy who's just kind of average? You know,
He was also
it'd be different if
to the Beast at the end of Split, which is also inaccurate.
completely bizarre and wrong. Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. My expectations for this movie were that so I made the mistake of looking at early critical reviews and seeing that they were bad. And I think because I did that, I spoiled myself for the movie a little bit, knowing that it was going to be bad, kind of made me go into it like, here we go. This is probably not that I couldn't kind of predict that it was going to be kind of a mess, but I was thinking that it was going to feel cobbled together with an uneven pace, and that Shyamalan wasn't going to deliver on a lot of the action scenes, which is kind of how I felt at the end of the movie too.
yeah.
But
I tried to hang in there. I'm not a big fan of Shyamalan, but I also it's the same feeling I get when I left this movie, which was like, but isn't that what he does? Like, this is kind of intentionally not my thing, but it still like succeeds in that it's very much so a Shyamalan movie.
yeah, that's true.
But
I mean,
think
there's
that,
some.
like just the sheer amount of them that haven't worked though, like means that maybe he should change the formula a little bit.
Yeah, and
man,
just
he's
abandon
not
the twist, man. He's still doing it.
Let him do
He
this.
really,
This
he
thing.
really tried to do a third act on this movie, and it did not,
He tried it.
not go well. But
It didn't go well, but it was more of an effort to have like a cohesive third act than pretty much any of his other movies that we've seen so
gave
far.
some level of closure, I guess.
Yeah, it was weird though. That whole third act was so weird.
Very weird.
this whole movie was weird. It just like, it felt like it could have been 3 movies. It was split up all over the place.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right. But before we get into the cons, because I think that is a major con for me, I'd like to talk about some of the better parts of this movie. There are some aspects to this film that redeem it a little bit. And I want to give a shout out to those early action scenes where Bruce Willis and McAvoy are fighting and the Beast is like running up the walls and stuff. Oh. And David Dunn's fighting him.
Looks like that. I told you that I like the part where he gets pushed up against a pillar. He gives a little bit of room and then uses his legs, and you just hear his feet go patter, patter, and he pushes off. That looked so cool. Mm-hmm. I was just like, yes, this is what I want.
That's what I wanted too. And I was like so excited because that first action scene set such a good precedent for the movie. I was like, this could actually be awesome. And then it kind of goes way into left field and a little bit downhill for the second act.
Well, it was like a prison movie, right?
Yeah.
Like it was an inmate type situation.
Yeah. For like an obnoxiously huge part of the movie.
It was just like which was season 1 of Legion for... I've
never seen Legion, but you made that comparison earlier too. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
It's because like the whole first part of that movie or that TV show. So he's like he's Charles Xavier's kid, and everyone thinks he has schizophrenia, but he actually has a demon living in his brain. Anyway,
oh my god!
They do a lot of stuff where it's like the bad guys are actually the people running the facility. Yeah,
okay.
And like just the color aesthetic
pretty much
was about the same, except they tried to make it more
gray.
No, so that's kind of an homage to like The Exorcist, because that's like a thing where they say Legion for we are many, and that's like the devil.
Oh, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of
Exorcist.
Cool.
One of my favorite movies.
Also,
we should watch that. We should watch that tonight. Yeah, it is, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. When did they mention that? Somebody like said something weird to discredit it or something, didn't they?
Everyone knows that so and so ends at the end of, or like
the priest dies at the end of The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were some. Okay, speaking of the dialogue and like what they said, something that came up so often, and I didn't really like it, was the way that like the characters were used to explain to the audience, like, oh, in the comic books, it always happens like this. Or if you remember in the comic books, there's always something like this that happens. And it's like maybe 10 or 13 times, right? Like there's like a million times that these people are, and this is why it's like the comic books.
Yeah, that expository dialogue is just, it's so groan-worthy.
That was almost like her purpose. She was a storytelling tool.
Even though that's the only reason. Taylor-Joy, like, she read comics and she had a whole scene about that, and they kind of just threw that out for Mrs. Price to just be like, "This is the part you were referring to, Elijah."
It's just like that's what she was only in the movie to be an exposition character. Mm-hmm. That was it. And that is such a big problem that Shyamalan has. And this movie was such a glaring example of characters that just exist to say something like, hey, it's like that one guy a couple years ago, and it's nothing like it. Or like they just say
the conclusions you're supposed to be drawing if you're not drawing them on your own. Here they are.
And there's a creative way of doing that, or a creative way of showing exposition without just having a character appear and say a line that is, they're like, you can do that effectively. This is an example of ineffective exposition.
But how many flashbacks did this movie have to do exactly what you're talking about?
So many, and so many of them didn't matter. Like him breaking his bones on the roller coaster. I'm like, why? We know his bones are brittle. I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe that's to get you to kind of empathize with the character.
Yeah, I could see that. But simultaneously, I don't know. This movie was so much longer. Or it felt. It was only 10 minutes longer.
It felt like really long. That whole third act was just, we were like so sick. Sid and I saw it together in the theater. And we were like,
PG-13?
I think so. Yeah. Let's check.
Maybe that's
the people.
Yeah, PG-13. Was ours or was Split R?
I
think
I don't know. It had a lot of implications. PG-13.
Also PG-13.
So maybe, I mean, in an attempt to reach a wider audience, that's why this was like oversimplified or like overly explained. Maybe that's something I can say in defense, just to play some devil's advocate. Because at the end it ended really hokey.
Yeah. And like
everyone hold hands, feel good.
Yeah. And like a lot of it.
Heroes are real.
A lot of just like the over explanation. It's just like, it's almost as if he expected his audience to be like dumb. And that's why, like, in his message that he was trying to get across was like vague too. So it wasn't just that he was trying to talk to people who he thought were dumb. He also just had a really vague message about comic books or something.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was trying to get at all.
Yeah, it was very unclear. And it just ended up being like the whole time it's a comparison to a comic book. It almost like got to a point where it was like, is he being self-referential and meta on purpose?
Oh yeah.
Like,
did you not see his cameo scene where he's like, I was the guy in the first movie. This is let your dad go for a walk.
But all of those all of that was just so gratuitous. It was another gratuitous Shyamalan cameo. Yeah. Just so obnoxious.
I feel like it would have been a better movie if they never did the insane asylum thing. Because, I would have just liked seeing
the overseer do, his thing and trying to keep up with the beast.
Because you can watch this movie without seeing the other two.
You could have had, a solid third act of catching up with David Dunn, catching up with the Beast, and then, the solid first act and then seeing Mr. Glass escape from an asylum, and then they meet up in the real world, and then you get to get a little bit more comfortable with the characters actually doing their thing in the real world, rather than going to Dreamland Psychiatric Ward, where they have to all be stuck together. It struck me as very, very odd. Yeah. And that second act when they were stuck there for the whole time was so long.
It was very poorly paced. And plus, I don't know, my favorite part of the movie was definitely Bruce Willis. They show how things have changed, how he's running the security thing and kind of running around
which is
shit.
Cool. I liked catching up with David Dunn.
McAvoy, that was the exciting part where he's kind of on the run from the cops, but they don't really know who he is.
And that would have been such a cool thing. And then you could have even had the conclusion or the climax being sometime late in the second act that David Dunn gets caught by the police, and then have some kind of fight scene centered around that. And then the Beast is involved, which complicates things. Instead, they did this whole psychiatric ward thing, which just seemed really bloated.
Yeah.
But there were some good stuff to this movie. I do think that McAvoy, Jackson, and Willis, maybe to a little lesser of an extent, all really brought some good, fun performances.
For me, it kind of felt like Bruce. I like Sam Jackson and James McAvoy. It felt like Bruce Willis kind of forgot his character. Number one, I could hear him the whole movie, which doesn't seem in character, but he just felt different having just seen Unbreakable. He didn't quite seem as David Dunny.
Yeah, he just seemed like Bruce Willis.
Exactly.
Probably because he didn't really want to do it. Yeah. He doesn't strike me as the kind of actor that wants to go back to these tiny projects.
I feel like we just watched Unbreakable, and Bruce Willis was still this reluctant but obligated thing. So maybe that's what we're reading.
That could be it too. Yeah. That is part of David Dunn's character, is the reluctant hero.
That's also part of Bruce Willis's typecasting. Yeah. So maybe that's what he's just delivering, and it just seems like Bruce Willis because he usually plays characters like that.
Yeah. And also he's old and tired now.
Yeah.
Aww.
He wanted to nap the whole movie.
Yeah, he just wanted to walk.
He just wanted to go, Jesus Christ, just let him go for a walk.
James McAvoy, besides just the sheer volume of traps in this movie, excellent acting job. I thought all of his little. I didn't like the one who spoke Spanish because his accent was really weird.
It wasn't very good.
But I liked Jade hitting on the guard, trying to make him bend over
great.
And grab the fucking insulin needle. I was dying. That was great.
Yeah, there was some good humorous parts in this movie.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Yeah,
I think
there
a
was some
lot of
funny
it was
humor.
around James McAvoy's characters, though.
Which is great. That's actually a really good way to do that, because he has so many of these one-off personalities you don't see much of. One of them can be funny. That's fun.
I did think it was stupid when his character dies at the end, where it's he just goes through every character. That's every what are they called? Identities or whatever. altars, and you have to say goodbye to all of them. I was like eye rolling, like, okay, can he die? Like, fuck.
I only really wanted to see Patricia and Hedwig, and maybe Barry.
Yeah, and like I wanted to see Dennis too, because I like how
Dennis.
I like Dennis. I think he's like a really good opposite to like Patricia, and I like how he towards the end of the movie was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done any of this, and like all this crazy stuff. How he just failed them at the end. You have to
clean these pants once this is over. I think he said that. I'm just like, okay, Dennis.
It's just so like over characterized because like. Yeah. And like Syd had a good point. Like they needed to, and this even happened in Split. They had to have that scene where he cycles through all of the personalities at like a rapid clip. And it's like, it's almost like it felt they had already done that earlier in the movie with the light.
Yeah.
And she was like flashing it and he was flipping through all his personalities, but they did it again at the end as he was dying.
Yeah. Just felt like very much like Dance Monkey dance kind of a thing. It felt like forced.
An SNL like audition tape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Just doing, and I can do Mr. Cowboy, and you know, and I can do the Spanish lady. Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just like, yeah, those are my pros. Is really the McAvoy personalities. Getting to see more of them was cool too.
Yeah, because
we speculated about that
one, as opposed to 8 in the last, which was fun.
Yeah, so we got to see some of the other ones.
I wish I had gotten more like, hip hop McAvoy. You think you can contain the beast? Nah, dog, you can't contain the beast. I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Right.
Dude, he's such a fun actor to watch.
He's Zaddy. I've talked about this. He's
what is Zaddy? You guys are. What does that mean?
It's just like hotter daddy.
Yeah,
absolutely. None of you will get it because all you have hair, but no.
Oh no!
Listen, this is the pinnacle of hot bald guys in movies, and now I can be
guess.
like, and especially ripped bald guys. Well, not really. That's not true. The Rock knows what's cooking, but
that's true. I can smell it.
What do I have to live up to? I'm not going to be Samoan. Like. It's not going to happen. As hard as I work.
But you could totally look like James McAvoy.
I could. I can just do a lot of shrugs.
Just to get those shrugs shrugging.
And just fucking
become indifferent.
So many tight pants. Just all the tight workout like sweats. There's like 5.
He always has a great variety of he has a great variety of workout sweats for sure.
Yeah. And that was also part of like the eye roll moments when he would change characters where he would like have to change his clothing as well.
Yeah. They did that in Split too, and it seemed like an unrealistic time frame for him changing his clothes.
I was really tired of every time the Beast came out that he took his shirt off.
Yeah. He did it like 6 times.
It's like, we get it, just we get it.
We're commenting. Like, what was the audience like in your theater? Because mine was
pretty quiet,
pretty old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was all quiet. There were all people like probably around our age. Mm-hmm. There were people who were laughing at like when Mr. Glass said the first name Glass, last name Ever. When he said that. Yeah. Which Shyamalan just completely ripped that from that Drake song. He even brings up Drake earlier in the movie, so it's very clear that
Drake now, and
it's so clear that Shyamalan like discovered Drake's discography and is a fan now, and just had to throw that in.
Well, he's in his late 40s. He's like, what do the kids like? Kids like Drake, right?
They like Drake.
I'm surprised it wasn't a Logan Paul drop. That seems like something someone his age would like.
No way.
Culture.
And he probably doesn't even know who that is.
The more we talk about this, and I'm like listening to you guys, the more I'm realizing that all of the scenes, arguably with Sarah Paulson, aren't necessary at all to this movie.
That's
like
correct.
all it really helped with doing was just kind of like. Just kind of triggering these characters and giving like the audience a kind of like understanding of how they tick, you know, explaining their superpowers almost.
Yeah.
By like kind of trying to
almost like
break them
an
down.
expository character, almost like she was there to highlight all of their differences instead of really be a character.
Yeah.
Kind of felt that way. She was kind of a plot device.
Yeah, her and Mrs.
Just
Price.
bums me
I
out.
liked the Lil Dunn. What?
Oh, yeah.
He was cool.
Oh yeah,
His eyes
yeah,
are
he came
such
back.
dark blue. It's terrifying. He looks like
Yeah, it's shocking.
dead.
Like the abyss or something. Yeah.
It's like they look black.
I thought that was cute that they got the same kid.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
awesome.
like good touch. You know, rather than recasting him, they just got the same actor. Good for continuity.
He's not busy.
Great for fun.
Yeah, that guy's not busy. Yeah. But I thought that was a nice touch for sure, because they could have gotten just like somebody who was looked totally different. It would have been like, and here he is, his son. They could have gotten Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Right. His eyes are brown now. It's fine.
Yeah. Remember? You don't remember.
Oh my God. Remember when Justin Gordon-Levitt was in that movie with Bruce Willis, and he was meant to be a young Bruce Willis, and they looked nothing alike?
Well, they actually did like makeup and prosthetics. I thought it was pretty impressive.
Nothing alike.
I thought they looked pretty similar.
Of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and like the same voice they did. I actually really. What was that movie? Was it?
Looper.
It wasn't Looper, was it? Yeah, it was Looper.
With this stupid, obvious contacts, you look like a drag queen.
That's what I think of when I think of
Because they were like
queens.
bright yellow, right? Yeah.
Stupid, obvious contacts.
I don't know. I really like the biggest problem that I had with this movie was the absolutely bizarre pacing.
Ugh.
It was just so weird.
I'm always frustrated with Shyamalan's movies because of that same thing. So it just kind of took it on.
Yeah.
You know? Accepted
It's like I saw this in Split, because we watched Sid and I watched Split again the night before we went to go see this, and it's got similar issues that Glass does when it comes to pacing, but Split's just a better movie. And so like it's used a little bit more effectively. I mentioned this in our review before, how like it jumps back and forth between the doctor's office and the bunker like very frequently, and it felt very rushed or forced or something. Like it was like an editing flub. This movie kind of had something similar, but I'd
say that Split, it would have been like if Split had just like a giant scene in the middle that was the
the doctor's office.
Like I think that at least he was trying to keep a fast pace for that entire movie. This movie, he's like, oh, the middle, the part that no one cares about, they only care about the beginning and the climax, baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's a really good point.
It is.
It was weird because the movie starts out so fast, like everything's fun. You're seeing I almost called him something different, but you're seeing Bruce Willis's character again, goes to the security office, you see how he's going, and it goes right into doing stuff for the overseer, and like that's cool. It's like doing basically where he left off in Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. You know, and then like he's hunting people down, he's hunting down the horde, and then like as soon as they get arrested, the movie just deflates. And it stays that way pretty much up until they all break out. And even then, it takes a while.
It also kind of suffers from like these scenes that you have to share between the three characters. Like the Avengers does this a lot. Like, okay, this all happens to all of these people at the same time, but we need to shoot like footage of each of them going through it individually, and it's exhausting.
Them all dying like that at the same time was the most hokey shit. Mm-hmm. It was just like, of course, they're all dying at the same time.
And that's what became exhausting. Like even all of the different personalities in the Kevin Wendell Crumb character, like that became exhausting. Like I'm just kind of we get it, like you're dead. Like I was so done with like all of this like screen time sharing.
Yeah.
You know, it felt
this movie, period.
It was obligatory. It was like all of these people are giving up awesome performances, blah blah blah. I was just done. I was done with it.
That final action scene as they're all dying individually was really, really awkward. Mm-hmm. Because like it would take these huge breaks to show like the cops coming in and separating them, and then Bruce Willis is bending bars and put an entire SWAT team in like a storage container.
That was there for a reason? I don't understand.
And like the stuff that worked is when like you got the POV camera from inside the van and you saw just out the window. You see Bruce Willis punching the van and like you could see his fists go through. That shit was cool.
Yeah.
That shit was really cool. Mm-hmm. But he used after that, like immediately after that, used this really, really odd POV camera that he is now obsessed with. Clearly, he did it a little bit in Split, but it was in this movie so much this like bizarre POV camera of Bruce Willis and James McAvoy choking each other, like going back and forth.
I hated it. It was.
I thought it was nauseating. Mostly,
I mean, like it could have been cool, but mostly just because they did two things: they punched and they choked each other.
Yeah, it's very clear to me that McAvoy is not an action director. I don't think he ever claimed to be.
Shyamalan?
Oh, what did I say? Oh, yeah, Shyamalan. McAvoy isn't an action director either, but yeah, he's not an action director. Shyamalan isn't, because this just was like the weirdest mix of exposition and action that just didn't mesh very well at all.
Again,
I don't think
he doesn't know how people work. He kept having like Bruce Willis hit the forearms of James McAvoy as if that was going to do something. I don't understand how David Dunn's powers work, because you can choke him and he'll be fine, but if you put him in water, something that chokes you, he's not fine. I still don't.
Well, water's his weakness. It's supposed to weaken him, you know.
But he just like drowns super easily, and like that's like a breathing thing. But choking him doesn't do anything. What if you put your fist down his throat?
Maybe you can't. Maybe. Well, I don't know.
Stick your
it doesn't
hand
need
in
to be
his mouth,
that
James
clearly
McAvoy.
aligned. Yeah, I did like how some of like there was a lot of choking and just like really like not trained fighters, because it would be like really kind of dumb if David Dunn like knew Muay Thai or something. You know what I mean? That would just be kind of like, okay, well, of course now he's a fucking black belt, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time,
that just would have been dumb.
Interesting for sure. Like
probably, or if he had like a little bit more fighting skills rather than doing the thing where he grabs people and then they get like throws them into a wall. That's basically what he does.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked really cool in that first scene when they're in the brick factory. And then, and like all of that was great. I feel like that's when Shyamalan was like inspired, and then he got exhausted with this movie. It was like, oh my God, now I have to tie all these loose ends up. What am I going to do?
I did. That's how I went through this movie. It was inspired and then it got exhausted.
Yeah.
It was rough to watch. And then the kind of pairing of these extra characters per superhero, right? Like each superhero gets like their sidekick, like the person that matters to them.
And they all had like color coordination, like as if you didn't know enough.
And they also like all showed up at the same time for the climax,
the reveal
like,
type thing. Yeah.
Why were they?
So I think we're at the point, we're deep enough in the podcast. If you guys don't want to hear the twist, that's fine. But basically, M. Night can't resist having a twist in his movies. And in this one, it's that Clarence Wendell-Crumb, who is Kevin Wendell-Crumb, or James McAvoy's father, was on the train as the same train as Bruce Willis was in Unbreakable, and he died. And that's the twist.
So it's Glass's fault.
So exactly. So Glass killed Kevin Wendell-Crumb's father, thus subjecting Kevin to all this future trauma and stuff, which is of course convenient because it all has to link together, and it makes it like it really shows that Glass is the villain, just manipulating the Beast or using Kevin Wendell-Crumb for the Beast. Yeah. And that's the twist right there.
There's the twist that the Doctor is the whole time part of a secret society who have Clover tattoos, because, again, this is a tie-in to the Cloverfield universe. A lot of people don't know that.
No, it's not. It's not.
I'd love to see how they manage that.
Oh my God. That would be so weird.
What if it's just all connected? It's just all connected.
Oh my God. All of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, we thought that that's what was going to happen. It was somehow going to be connected to all of them.
That would have been so... I just want to see how they figure out, like, oh yeah, this is connected to After Earth and Last
After Earth.
Oh, buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so Secret Society was the Doctor the whole time.
Which makes a lot of sense. The whole movie, because she's like, you're not really superheroes, but here are these high-powered hydraulic cannons in your room, David Dunn, to teach you a lesson. And here are lights to make sure that you don't become the Beast, James McAvoy.
But no one believes you.
Yeah. Instead of just containing them. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that really didn't make any sense at all. Yeah. And and the ease of which Mr. Glass could just get out of his like locked cell was incredible to me.
They never like
they do very, very briefly.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson says that the spark coming out of the one security guy, nurse dude, Daryl, coming off of the tailpipe of his car sends out a frequency that unlocks his door during their shift change.
For some reason, I thought
that's what he said.
Like that was the time when I get to leave my door.
That is the time that he uses to escape and like walk around because Daryl's like a talker.
That is so
you see a spark come out of his tailpipe, and then you see that. And then the next scene, you see him like scooting around in the hospital. You just see a shadow, which is like almost kind of fucking hilarious. We like laughed at that. He's scooting around. There he goes.
There he goes.
Get him.
He's got that Bride of Frankenstein hair.
Yeah, I thought his hair looked awesome.
He looked awesome. He looked happy.
Sam Jackson just looked awesome. Yeah, he just looked like, especially when he was doing the like I don't care thing, like, and he was twitching his eyes and his lips. Man, Sam Jackson is so fucking good at that like crazy eye. Like,
so is McAvoy. Just like the face, like the muscular control period.
Yeah,
they just deliver on that.
Why is his neck
crazy,
so fucking vascular? It's terrifying.
Yeah.
How does he?
He's such a good physical actor. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had to have done some sort of like breathing exercises and like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But he did a really good job manipulating his body for all of this.
Oh, yeah.
I love towards the end of the movie, it was almost like comical, and I was exhausted of the movie by this point, but like when the Beast was fighting, they just like dropped in like generic .wave files of like tiger noises and stuff. It was like so obvious too. It was like just the sound bitiest stuff I had ever seen or ever heard.
I mean, I get that he talked in Split, but man, did the Beast talking not sound good in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't really
silent and made everyone else communicate for him.
Yeah, that would have been better, I think. But you're right. He like talked very, very little, and what they did, it was very breathy. He sounded like an animal. In this, he kind of just sounded like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a cult leader or something.
Yeah. So were you guys terrified towards the end of the movie that Anya Taylor-Joy and Kevin Wendell Crumb were gonna fall in love and kiss?
I was worried they were gonna play on that.
Yeah, because I was like, where's the Stockholm Syndrome in Split? I didn't get my Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't that have been terrible if they kiss and fall in love?
And she's like 15.
And all of the... Yeah, and all of the...
Be at least 16.
I'm done with you.
All of the split personalities are just suppressed, and Kevin is free to be himself. Could you imagine?
No.
That's the ending that I would have jokingly written for that movie.
Yeah.
You think Shyamalan thought about it and was just like, nah, that's too gross. I'll never get this movie produced.
Apparently there was another ending that M. Night Shyamalan changed out because he said it wouldn't have meshed with the modern political climate. So
what?
I feel like you're not far off.
He kills Donald Trump.
No. It has to be. It has to be like a really young girl and like an adult man finding a common ground and becoming.
Maybe I guessed it right.
Involved. Yeah, like that. I feel like
that's
you might
gross.
have hit the nail on the head, and they just were supposed to fall in love at the end.
Oh God, that would have been bad.
Wouldn't that be really gross?
Well, isn't Kevin Wendell Crumb supposed to be like 21 years old though?
He's supposed to be,
but even though he looks like he's 36,
23 at this point because it's 2 years later, 21 in Split.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
So it would have been like less gross, but McAvoy is so clearly like 35 years old.
Yeah. He looks like a grown human being.
Willis.
Right.
Yeah, clearly McAvoy is like 62.
Is that old?
Bruce Willis is easily 150.
What?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Let's see how old James McAvoy is.
I want to find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Looking up Bruce Willis. Oh my God, he is
1979. McAvoy was born.
He's 63. Bruce Willis.
Wow. He's 63. Yeah, McAvoy's like 41?
Yeah,
No, 40. He turned 40 this year.
well,
Or he
happy
will.
birthday, Mr. McAvoy.
Yeah. Or he's going to turn 40 in like a month and a half.
See,
He's older than I thought. I thought he was younger than that.
Oh no, he's old as dirt.
So, did you see the Captain Marvel trailer, the full one, before
I didn't get
the movie?
the full one. They gave me the Shazam one for the 10th time.
I actually have not seen the Shazam trailer yet in the
it's
theater.
so bad. I don't like
I really want to. I really want to see Shazam. We're gonna see Shazam. I think we're gonna like it, Sid.
I mean, it seems like it's good for kids. Like, if I was a much younger person, I'd be like, yeah. You know, like, that's cool and age appropriate.
Yeah, I could see that.
Meanwhile, a PG-13 movie's alluding to, like,
weird
like,
pedophilic
yeah, a
relationships.
40-year-old being into, like, a 20-year-old. How old is the little girl?
She's pretty young. I think she's like 20 or 21.
Okay.
We could find out.
Miss Taylor.
Let's see.
Yeah.
How much do you think it cost to get Bruce Willis in this movie?
$10 and a pack of cigarettes. She's 22.
She was born. Yeah, she was born in 96.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
Yeah, she's pretty young.
Weird.
But yeah, definitely weird. I was like so ready for that twist. That was the twist. The Shyamalan twist is that they fall in love.
I feel like it was twist on twist on twist.
Yeah.
There were like
Right,
5
it's
twists
like-
towards the end. It was really weird.
Right, like, hey guys, they're not really super. Psych, they are, and this is all a conspiracy. Psych. You know, Mr. Glass knew all about this, and it's an origin story, is what he was saying.
Or something.
Right, so, like, then there's another twist. Psych, we're never going to that building we keep talking about.
Yeah. Oh my God, they kept talking about that building,
And
but
they
it wasn't
never-
in the budget for them to
No.
shoot something on something
You
like
would
that.
think that they would have this showdown at this building, and you kind of get this huge scene, and really you get as a parking lot.
Yeah, they fight in a parking lot.
Like an
Hey,
after-school brawl.
You know
Yeah.
what every of these movies was missing was a high stakes, crazy, like super
Parking lot fight.
Here's one in a parking lot where
You're still not getting it. Psych.
Similarly to Split, they basically only had one location, and it probably kept the cost of the movie down a lot. Because this movie the budget was something like 20 million, and Split was only like 9 million. But like shooting on different locations is really expensive. And that's where a lot of the budget goes towards a movie, because you have to not only like rent the space or like pay like probably the city if you're shooting in a public place, but you also have to like get all of your equipment there. You have to do all of that stuff and get all the actors there and pay the actors and feed the actors and the crew.
I mean, so they basically did most of it at the Allentown State Hospital.
Is that where that was? Allentown?
Yeah.
It's pretty cute. I think I've seen it before, probably.
The Ontario Street Comic Book Shop on Ontario Street in Philadelphia.
Oh, cool. So it was all in Philly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But
Less than 2 months to film, we can tell.
Right? It really did feel that way, didn't it? It felt so cobbled together and just edited in such a like weird way.
And like I had no idea when I don't know, when the just like the pacing for days made no sense, where like Glass would be like, we're going tomorrow, and then I'd be like, why does it feel like, how long has it been since? I don't understand.
There was not really a great scope for time.
No.
Yeah.
And with the flashbacks too.
I think one of the things that this movie did do effectively, though, and we talked about how we don't like what's her name, the psychiatric lady about the superhero
Sarah
disease,
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson. We didn't like her character or her acting very much.
Her name is Sarah Paulson.
Her name was Sarah Paulson.
What I did like, I knew you were gonna interrupt me. I knew you were gonna do it.
Her name was Sarah Paulson.
Okay,
Her name was Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson.
Say it, Avery. Her name was Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson.
Let's make pipe bombs.
Oh, yeah, or soap.
Yeah, let's make soap.
or soap pipe bombs.
Give me your hand,
Soapy
Avery.
bombs.
No. So basically what I did like about that character,
Was that her name? Was Sarah Paulson or?
yes, is that they did like kind of convince the characters that they weren't special. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was actually kind of an interesting idea that really this whole time maybe they weren't superheroes, and even the audience, like they played on the audience a little bit too.
Yeah.
Thinking like, you thought these people were superheroes the whole time? And I thought that was an interesting concept. But then, of course, he just completely subverts all of that. And yeah, they're actually superheroes. Yeah.
Psych.
Yeah, it's
Twist,
just like
twist.
psych after psych after psych. Subverting somebody's expectations is sometimes good. If it's like really good and the story makes sense and then you totally just twist it like that. But when you're doing that over and over and over again in a movie, it becomes like exhausting. This movie was exhausting.
But I mean, okay, it ties into like the glass breaking, right? This is shard on shard on shard. Sharded.
It's sharded out.
I mean, like, I just feel
Sharded.
like they could have made it much more convincing than just with like one exposition scene. You know what I mean? Like, they could have actually like made them feel like they weren't actually powerful and like showed
Or
that,
just like,
and then
yeah,
had
like
that
on their own time kind
Yeah.
of try to make it happen and it didn't work. And then they have like this personal thing going on.
Because like, for like such a good visual director as Shyamalan is, because he does do good visuals, he does a whole lot more tell
Yeah.
than show.
Yeah, which is so weird. Like, he should know that he's good at visuals.
But it was, yeah, there were some shots I was like, I really like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I kept saying that a lot.
I think those POV shots, I'm like, I don't know why he likes those so much, because when his wide shots are so great.
Or even just
Like, he's really good at framing wide shots.
the security car flipping shot of
Yeah, that was pretty cool. When you were in the car and you could see his face, but then they cut to this like super corny shot from like a security camera.
just
Like, why is he putting that in there?
Don't worry.
Which
he's
also,
not all
like-
traps, he's got glutes too. All right.
Yeah, right.
James
Wow.
McAvoy.
Like, why did
Zaddy.
they have to put that in there?
Wow.
I thought those security camera pictures, which ties into the end.
But at the
But
end,
it's so
everyone just buys it. Everyone
Yeah.
sees all of this
Whoa.
footage of like these people being extraordinary, but no one's skeptical.
Yeah.
That is absolute bullshit.
feel like
Everyone would be like,
nowadays-
seen it. I've already seen
It
that.
would have been really great if like there was like actual footage of them and they played off of the fact it's 2019 and everyone's like shitty about seeing anything where they're like, that's fake.
And they start a superhero security footage review podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, where's the comic book podcaster who was just giving us the exposition about the showdown? Yeah, talking about what the showdown is.
I wanted the showdown.
There
I
was
wanted
no
it.
showdown.
I got
There
zero
was a
down.
showdown, but there wasn't a showdown.
Well, Cloverfield showed up. The Clover organization.
Yeah, when they sent in the cops, it was just like,
all of the Irishmen came through.
yeah.
Yeah, another reason why this podcast hates the Irish. Let me tell you.
What?
What?
Really? I
No.
didn't know that.
That's
I'm
not
pushing a
true.
really heavy anti-Irish sentiment. Me, the ginger kid.
No. What
Oh,
about
no.
Megan? I don't know.
Megan?
That's just like an Irish name.
Is Megan an Irish name?
I don't know. I assumed.
I felt like Patrick was an Irish.
Right. Right.
Patrick O'Hooley Doobly.
I
Wow,
don't
and
know.
I'm the one who hates the Irish. Let's talk about that.
Patrick O'Shillelagh. Hey.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
God, I can't.
We should do a St. Patty's Day drunk podcast.
My liver is
no.
not into that.
Well, you say that now, but you're not feeling well. But if you go shot for shot and watch
Yeah.
a movie, it could be super fun.
We'll each get a bottle of Fernet.
I'm never drinking that dirt water. That spicy dirt.
When Ash was here last year, I made him drink Fernet.
Poor buddy.
And I'm
Did you
not
give
a
him
drinker.
Menta or
Yeah,
the
I gave
good
him
one?
Menta.
Oh
They
man,
gave me the dirt one first because he's a dick.
they're both
Oh,
dirty.
that's right. Because we went to what's the name of that place we went to? I can't remember. It's on West. Yeah. It's like by 5th and
All you
West.
people who don't live in Austin.
It's not Justine's. Well, whatever. We went to this place and they didn't have
Menta.
They didn't have Menta. They just had Bronca. I was just like, I'll do one of those.
I think Bronca's better.
Well,
I do.
Wow.
But we should do a drinking day podcast.
Oh,
yeah, I'm into it.
Right.
We should do a drunk movie
let's
to
watch
commentary.
Training Day, but it's really drinking day. And we go shot for shot anytime someone takes a shot. Let's do a John Wick chug off, and every time someone takes a shot, we do a shot.
I did get the commercial for John Wick
and we
Part
die.
3. That was great.
I think it looks cool.
I love that John Wick. I like action movies.
Here's a fun fact. 7'2", biggest hands in the NBA center, Boban Marjanovic, is one of the bad guy goons in John Wick Chapter 3.
Oh, cool. Good for him.
Plays for the Clippers. He's a fucking weirdo. I love him. He can dunk without jumping.
Damn.
Oh my god!
How tall is he? 7 foot.
7'9".
No, he's like 7'2" with a freakish wingspan. I'll send a
photo.
Oh damn, that's
7'2"?
cool.
Yeah.
Send that photo.
I'll put. Yeah,
send a photo of him next to Kevin Hart.
Are you a Clippers fan?
No, I'm a Blazers fan because I'm from Portland. But the Clippers play in town, so they're on TV all the time.
I'm a Spurs fan, so I was just curious.
He played on the Spurs.
He did not.
Yeah.
Why would we let the tall freak go? Why? So he could pursue acting?
Yeah. Now he's in Tinseltown, baby.
No.
Hey, yo.
We've lost another one.
Let's see here. Here's him next to someone who's of normal size. Here we go. This is really exciting for all the listeners.
For a normal
like Shulk
size.
and Heck.
Whoa.
Oh my god. Oh, wow.
She's,
He's
like,
a white
taller
dude
than
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She's wearing heels.
Yeah.
He's a freak. He's awesome.
His feet are like
God.
the size of her clutch right now.
He looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, so
he has more fan syndrome.
Tall people happen.
Holy
crap.
There isn't a Spurs jersey. But he's like, so he's like bad guy goon, and at one point in the commercial you see him kick John Wick in the chest. I'm like, God, it's gotta hurt.
Damn. His foot's probably like as big as like
gun he's using.
Yeah.
I really like Keanu Reeves as an actor and as an action actor. I think he's done really well, and he's worked hard for it.
Can we watch Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey sometime? I don't want to watch the first one, just Bogus Journey.
All right. Not the Excellent Adventure.
We're thinking of a new segment where we just watch sequels to movies that aren't good.
Yeah. Hunchback of Notre Dame Part 2.
Oh, buddy.
Oh my god. The Fly 2.
The Fly
is
2.
when we talked.
Blair Witch 2.
That movie's bad.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's really bad. There's like a dueling chainsaw scene in there.
Lilo and
It's stupid, dude. You would like that.
There's for Disney. There's a straight to DVD number 2 for just about any major movie.
Because they gotta just squeeze more dollars out of those
absolutely
unsuspecting parents.
And it's probably for parents so that like the characters that they know that their kids watch, instead of watching the same movie over and over again, you get just anything different with the same characters.
For the love of God.
Yeah. Parents, they go through it, man.
Just please
just fuck any other kind of Barbie movie. Just Jesus.
Wait, please rephrase that sentence. What did you just say?
So like parents have to watch what their kids watch a lot of the time, and a lot of times kids just want this one movie. They have like their favorites, right? Like their top 3. And after years or days or whatever, you just want anything else but with the same characters that your kids like really like. It's just like any other
please for the love of God
version of Lilo and Stitch or Shrek.
Which ones were yours? What were your favorite movies as a child? Let's go.
Jurassic Park.
God,
I fucking love
I was
Jurassic Park.
a Lion King kid, but I'm not making this up. I really liked the Bill and Ted movies when I was very, very young.
I was a Fantasia kid. So just
hell yeah.
Animation and song.
What did you think about Fantasia 2000
also
when it
dope.
came out? Right.
Wow, there's been a lot of sequels to that movie, huh?
No.
What?
Fantasia.
1 through 2000.
I didn't get your joke. I was just mad at immediately.
I watched Fantasia last night.
Ooh.
It still holds up. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever seen it or not. I don't think that's my kind of thing.
Fantasia? Or
Music?
I like to watch dinosaur murders.
yeah, there's one of those in Fantasia, but you wouldn't
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
know that.
Is there really? You guys are lying to me.
No,
You
but
know what?
They're wizards.
You don't deserve Fantasia.
Oh,
Fine.
There also is wizards, yeah. There's like kind of the Big Bang, like the meteor hitting the dinosaurs to like this beautifully executed song.
That actually sounds pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
well-
like classical songs with new renditions with classic Disney characters, and each one's done with different like animation styles. They did a really cool Rhapsody in Blue one, which introduced me to fucking
Gershwin. He knows what he's doing.
Anyway, so speaking of Jurassic Park, we're watching Jurassic Park for next week, aren't we, Ash?
What?
I didn't even get into my cons for this movie.
Yes.
You didn't even get into Ash.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the fucking cheerleader girl who gets hit with a table then walks out.
Yo, that was dope.
That was the best.
She got her shit wrecked.
Oh my God.
Well, they probably like picked her up and took her along, but like all of her bones were broken, so they just had to carry her. They were
Her
like, "Come on,
feet were
Jennifer."
moving. She was like moving her feet.
Well, maybe her feet didn't break. The only thing that didn't break on her whole body.
She got a table thrown at her.
Yeah, that was awesome. Sid and I were like,
We
oh,
liked it.
yeah,
I really liked it. But yeah, it was kind of, she did end up, maybe it's the adrenaline, I don't know.
yeah.
I also liked the part where the guy like punches the bystander, and then they just hang out around the body, screaming about how he punched the bystander.
The
What?
Superman punch guy.
Oh yeah, that was such an odd start.
Yeah,
Superman punching Ronald.
Superman punch, and then Bruce Willis breaks into his house and just like and throws him against the wall, which I thought was awesome. That was a good scene too.
yeah, that was.
Superman punch him. Do it.
The guy's credited as Ronald, powerful young man.
I like
That's
the
so
names
weird.
for the extras. Those are always fun to look at.
Ronald, powerful young man.
Yep.
That's so weird.
That's how you know who he
Teen,
is.
skinny camera kid.
Skinny camera kid and powerful young man.
He has some funny one-off names for the extras for sure.
Yeah. Well, I really got nothing else to say about this movie. It was so middling.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah, it was so middling. It was so just like I really just I don't even know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
It was really weird. It was an odd theater experience for me. Very cinematically bizarre. If I had 5 words about it, my 5 words would be like, this movie is really weird. It's just fucking weird. It's just weird. It didn't like, I left the theater and I was like, I don't know if I liked that or if I couldn't stand it. And I've kind of come down to that means that I probably just didn't really like it.
Yeah.
You know?
If you don't know if you like it, then you didn't like it.
It's probably not very good. There was elements that I liked to this movie. I thought some of the action when it was done well, and I'm thinking of that first scene, when it's done well, is like awesome. I loved when the Beast tried to crush David Dunn, but he couldn't, and he's like, what the hell? Like, there's someone that's as strong as I am. That shit was cool. Like, I got goosebumps in the theater. I was like, this is awesome. I like these characters. This is fun. I got goosebumps. And yeah, and so I thought that stuff was cool. All of the actors were great. If I had to give this movie a rating, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 10. I'd say go see it if you're a fan of the first 2 movies, but if you only had like a pretty mixed reaction to Unbreakable and Split, you could skip it. You're not really missing too much. Split ends well enough on its own, with it doesn't need a continuation. And Unbreakable is pretty, yeah, and Unbreakable self-contained too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You could skip it.
Half of these movies don't need to be connected.
They don't. They just don't.
There's only 2.
Yeah, 3 actually.
Yeah.
They don't need to be connected at all.
1.5 of these movies doesn't need to be connected.
So, Sid, do you have some words and a rating for us?
I would say that watching this movie is like when someone you really like tries to make you dinner and the dinner sucks, but the wine is good. So it's just like...
I feel like this is a personal attack against someone.
No, it's just like, I don't want to be rude because I feel like there was a lot of effort and thought put into this movie, and I don't want to disregard that at all because there were things that were done well. Like, I thought it was visually done all right. I don't like the storytelling at all. The performances, however, were pretty awesome overall. And then I still walked away feeling bleh. Like, I feel like I wouldn't see it again. I'd give it like a 2. It wasn't really great for me. And I feel like it was a waste of performances from these really talented people all involved. Redo it. This is a mulligan.
Yeah.
Redo it.
Mulligan this one, try again.
Like, I don't want to be rude.
Shyamalan running into theaters, just going, no, wait one sec. I gotta take this one back home and re-edit it.
Re-releases the movie in 6 months.
No, let me take this back.
It wasn't done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The studio took it.
It felt like so like over edited. Do you know what I mean? Like, they had so much stuff that they wanted to tweak to make it perfect, and in doing that they may have goofed it up.
I feel like by the end of the movie, my 5 words would be like, "Oh my God, please end."
Yeah. Yeah.
Please end.
It's just fucking exhausting. It was just exhausting.
Yeah.
I agree completely. What do you got for us, Ash?
All right, so I got 5 words here. I got, yeah, Ronald, Superman punch him.
That's perfect. That is, yeah.
Listen, M. Night, you're not as smart as you think you are. You don't have to explain things this much. I feel like if you would put half of the time that you used using useless exposition to actually making this movie good, I don't know, hire a stunt coordinator. I don't know.
Yeah.
That needed to be done.
Literally, he just didn't. This is just him jerking himself off. I hated it.
It's, yeah.
This movie ended so badly on a scene of people realizing that this thing had happened in a very not crowded Amtrak station.
Which is just not real. The Penn Station never looks like that.
No, it should have been bustling and people should have been freaking out. But it was oh, no, there's one person there who's on their phone. Yeah, no, they're seeing it. Yeah. You fucking monster. Why would you do this to Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy?
Yeah.
These are 2 movies, and they went together for no reason.
Oh. It's going to be
okay,
buddy. You made me
more sick, guys.
No, we did it. See what you've done, Shyamalan? You made him more sick.
I'm sending you my medical bills. I'm not going to the doctor, but I'm going to make up something for emotional damage. I don't recommend this movie. It's just not necessary. If you're going to watch any of it, watch until they get taken to this insane asylum. It's not interesting after that. I give this movie a 2.5 out of 10.
2.5, yeah. So we're all kind of on the same page.
Good movie to nap to.
Yeah, totally. Wait till it's on TNT and take a nap to this movie.
This is like a hangover movie.
Yeah, put it on and you're not going to hate it, but it's you're not going to want to pay attention. You're just going to want to stay in bed and watch something that isn't your walls.
As they close in around you.
You know what I mean?
Existential dread comes over your body. What did I do last night? Where did I put that body? Was that me? Or did I just
My
fag
God.
your head?
I'm done.
Wow.
Feel better or whatever, bye.
But yeah, so that's it. We got Jurassic Park coming to you guys next week. Guess who picked it? Was it Avery? Yes, it was.
You have to watch the Jeff Goldblum remix laugh track thing.
What?
When he's on the it's a YouTube, someone made it, but it's his laugh and he goes and it's they keep looping it and they start remixing in all the other characters. We'll send it to you, Ash. I'll send it.
Okay, sweet. I appreciate that. And then also next week we're going to be choosing our movies for next month. Some of them have already been chosen. One of them,
That's just gonna
Avery's not going to
fucking murder
like.
me.
Avery's not going to like. I might tell Sid what it is before I tell you.
Is that what? Don't tell me. Definitely don't tell me. Is that what this show is now? Are we just adversarially trying to bring each other down with films that we personally love and know the other will hate?
Maybe you
Is that what
shouldn't
we
have
do
picked
now?
a Daredevil 2003, Avery. Maybe that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That's true. This is what we're doing. Whose side are you on?
I don't have any sides, just my own.
She
Shyamalan
also had
twist.
to watch it.
It's rough, man.
She fell asleep and then decided not to be on the podcast too because she was asleep.
I was working.
Wait, you get paid to sleep?
Best job ever.
Okay, I sent that to you.
Okay,
In the
yeah.
Thanks, bud.
text or whatever. It's really good.
All right, awesome. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram's For the Story Podcast. I post there sometimes. Come see my story about Spiders Man, my favorite character from Spider-Geddon.
Yeah.
Spiders, man. He's millions of spiders.
Yeah, that
The
think
makeup
they're
of
Peter
man.
Parker.
He's Spiders,
Oh my
man.
god, your name's Peter, my name's Peter.
Oh my
They
god.
have a little spider lounge where they hang out.
Spiders, man.
It's so
What part of the man do you work on? Oh, I'm in the bicep. Glute.
I wonder if they have a water cooler they get together at.
It has to be. It's like in
I feel like
the liver.
there's a sitcom there. Let's write it, Sid. Fuck it. Let's write a sitcom.
I think you guys
that takes
already
place
did.
inside of Spiders Man.
Everyone stays quiet as like a really foxy spider walks by and it's like, oh my god, she's so hot.
God.
Like, dude, that's a boy. And they're like, no.
She works in
no.
the balls.
Ask her name. Go ask her name.
Balls.
No. And then someone else comes by. Her name's Peter.
Oh
Oh my god, my name's Peter.
We have so much in common.
Go talk to her, Pete. Petey.
Yeah.
She already has a dude. He's like this super buff spider guy. And he has a
What's
really
up?
high pitched voice. What's up?
I work in the
Peter.
brain.
Like he looks awesome and then yeah, he works in the brain.
On the left nostril.
He'd never
Spiders,
look at me.
man.
I work in the calf. Everyone knows Peter
This-
has underdeveloped calves.
They're the hardest muscle to build.
It's mostly genetic, okay?
Yeah, it's not the spiders.
That's what I've been telling people for years.
Yeah.
It's
You
mostly
should just have-
genetic.
You should just have dad calves like me.
Dad calves?
What are
Hashtag
dad calves?
Oh, I think you guys know what dad calves are.
Like thick, rotund
Yeah.
calves?
Okay. Or you know,
Juicy
I don't know.
calves?
I'm thinking like pale and like gray leg hair.
I mean that too, but I was.
I
talking
just
about
don't have the
size.
shape going on.
Tanned, like because you've been wearing cargo shorts?
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I mean,
Dad
what else am I
jean
going to wear with
shorts?
my Monster
Oh,
Energy baseball
shorts.
cap?
Jean shorts.
A New York Yankees cap, even though you live in LA.
Some sort of like park t-shirt, like
Six Flags Great Adventure 2004.
right.
Or like a
Right.
very
I spent a
specific
lot of
high
money
school
on this
sports
shirt.
team that
Yeah.
no one knows.
Oh no, we made it to state.
Ready to stay. Oh.
Did you
Right,
play?
kids?
Oh,
Hey, kids. Yeah.
No, I just watched.
I'm a fan. My God. All right. On that note, I think we should get going. Whoa, bless you. Oh, my goodness.
bless
Is there
you
any of
guys,
you
and bless you,
left?
listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, God
aw.
bless us.
This
So
is the
nice.
first time I get to be nice to the listeners. I love
Spiders bless us.
Yeah.
you.
Aw.
Everyone. We can save that for the Christmas special.
For next year, we'll save it.
No, for the sitcom.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
The spiders.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening tonight. We love you so much. And go see Glass if you want to. That's what I got.
All right, cool.
All right. Bye.